making scones.
With chocolate chips.
And maybe make them a little bit chocolatey too, besides that. So, all right, so for starters, we get 3 cups of plain white flour. And we've got 1/2, and 1, and 1 1/2, and 2, and 2 1/2, and 3. No, not quite 3. Okay, that's a little bit clumpy. Let's do that again. And 3.
Okay, 3 cups of flour.
Yes, 3 cups of flour. And then we get the fun bit.
Sugar.
Yep, so we do a 1/2 cup of sugar, which I will pour while trying to hold a Andre. Alrighty.
No, just let me hold this.
Oh, okay. Hold it level so it doesn't all pour out. Actually, we don't have to be that precise.
Good.
Close enough, sure. There is our 1/2 cup of sugar. Oops, and we'll put that back. And next we have 5 teaspoons of baking powder. Baking powder, 5 teaspoons of that. 1 teaspoon measuring cup. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We can count to 5, Andre, can't we? Just wait until you can count, and then you can help in the videos. All right, then we do a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I'm going to end up doing a little bit more, closer to a whole teaspoon, because I'm using unsalted butter here.
Okay.
So I find it tends to help a little bit. Okay. So we've got that. Next, because I want these to be a little bit more chocolatey here, I'm going to bring up the cocoa powder and my tablespoon measuring cup. And I haven't actually done it with the cocoa here, so just sort of.
First time.
Yeah, I'm just sort of going to guess. Let's do like 2 of those.
2 tablespoons.
Yeah, I'm sort of wondering maybe I should just do 3 because that would use up the whole box of it here. Sure, we'll be bold. We'll do 3 tablespoons or 1 entire container that was left. 3 tablespoons of that. Okay. Some liquid ingredients to prep, although we're not going to use them quite yet. So we have a cup of milk, so I'm pouring into my little glass measuring cup. That's close enough. So 1 cup of milk and then 1 egg. Add that in. Oops, that splattered a little bit. Okay. Wash my hands off after that. Okay, then I get my little mixing fork and we just beat this up because we want to beat that egg up a little bit, break up that yolk. The dough's going to be really sticky and thick, so you really sort of need to do this in advance, actually. I know I don't for most of my other recipes. Okay, so that's all broken up.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so we've mixed up the liquid ingredients. We've got the dry ingredients here unmixed, so I'm going to just quickly stir those together a little bit loosely here, just break up some of the big clumps and things. That is not actually looking particularly chocolatey to me. So, may need to add a little bit more cocoa powder here.
No, I think you just have to mix them.
Well, we'll see once we start mixing in the liquid ingredients. Andre's pointing out Papa made a little bit of a mess there. Getting a little bit too rigorous with his stirring there. Okay, so the next big step is to take 3/4 of a cup of butter, cold butter in this case, and you cut it up into little small
Squares.
bits, and then we add the little bits in there, and we are going to then just gently fold them in, get them coated just a little bit. Okay. And we're gonna keep doing this for quite a while.
Okay.
And while I continue doing that, I'm also going to go over here and start preheating the oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. And that will take a little bit. So, all right, so we're almost wrapped up adding the butter in here. And just like that, the oven is ready. So we add in our last little chunks of butter. Just, oops, that'll be a big chunk. I'll have to break that up. So we just coat them here, get them all nicely coated. Alrighty, so they're all nicely coated. I will put in the last bit. Okay, just double checking one last time. Alrighty, it's time to add those liquid ingredients from earlier. So we pour a little bit in.
So you don't pour it all at once?
Yeah, they say to sort of like gradually mix it in, wet the dough. Makes it a little bit easier to mix that way. Yeah.
Andre got bored.
Space. Okay, right about now, I might want to start thinking about putting in,
Chocolate chip.
yeah, my filling. So you can use other berries if you want here. I have not had success with any berries, only with chocolate chips, because chocolate chips are nice and hard, and will keep their shape and things while being mixed up in this dough. So a lot of it looks fairly dry, but also fairly wet. Trying to be nice and show this using the spoon to mix it. Normally I just go in with my hands.
Just go with your hand. Your hands are clean.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
The chef or the baker.
Yep. Oops. Let's get that out. Just set that out to the side here.
And massage it. How do you call it?
Knead it.
Knead it.
Yeah, I'm trying to pick up some of that dry
the chocolate
ingredient.
chip.
Well, soonish. There was a lot of the liquid that was buried there, so I was not doing a good job mixing it up.
Look, it's brown now.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to put more.
Nope.
Andre's cooking waffles.
All right, so we have finished kneading that now. It's time to add the chocolate chips. So I'm just taking a handful, so maybe like half a cup here. Maybe another handful, so maybe more like 3/4 of a cup. And gonna go back and knead that a little bit more. Now we're going to take a little bit more flour, and we're going to flour the work surface here, because we have to spread this dough out.
And cut it like a pizza.
Yep, and cut it. So the butter has begun melting a little bit in here, so it's getting kind of sticky. So I'm actually going to
Add more.
flour the top a little bit, just to make it easier to flatten out here. I also sort of like the look of a little bit of a floured top
Yeah.
on the scone. Yeah. So you could use like a fancy rolling pin and things. Scones to me are sort of meant to be more like rustic, less refined. So I don't really bother. I just get like roughly even, maybe about 1/2 inch thick or so, or however large you want them. Alrighty, so now we will go get the pan, and I'll clean these hands up a little bit. Yeah, and we'll cut it.
Okay.
So here I'm using my largest cookie sheet, which I don't know how large it is. If you don't have a huge one, you can use 2 smaller ones. I coat it with parchment paper here just to make it easier to clean up a little bit. And now we get to the cutting. So I'll start by cutting it in half there. And let's look, that looks okay, so we'll cut this one in half again. And we will cut into 8s. Yep. See, it doesn't look like there's chocolate chips, but they're mixed in on this side as I keep running into them. Good? Alrighty. So we'll bring our pan over here and hope it doesn't all fall off in my face while I'm holding the kiddo.
Okay. I can hold.
Okay. Make sure to have a little bit of separation between them, because they will expand a bit in the oven there.
Oops.
This one there. There you go. So we take it over to the oven here, and before we put it in, we top it a little bit. So, Andre, can you go to mommy? So, to add a little bit of crunch, I'm just going to try adding a little bit of sea salt here.
Just a little bit.
Yep, tiny amount there, just to give a little bit of like crunch with the sweetness here. And then I have some sugar in the raw, which I will take and sprinkle on top for a little bit of added sweetness to go with that saltiness. but also to give it a little bit more crunch as well. And with the parchment paper here, I don't have to worry about being a little bit messy because
Yep.
it just comes
It's
right off.
easier to clean.
Yep. So,
Stick it in the oven.
yeah, got this all ready. It goes in the oven for 15 minutes for starters. I find it usually takes a little bit closer to 17, so we'll see here. Alrighty. So unfortunately with these being chocolate, I don't have a good way of telling if they're done. So, let's try the old fork trick. I think they're probably done.
Good.
And now we let them cool for a while. Alright, Andre.
We're gonna taste this.
Taste test. You go.
Good. What do you think?
Yum.